what's important about how often to post is really consistency. So start with consistency. If you can only manage one post a week, that's fine. Just make sure you show up for that one post a week. If you can do 3 to 4, that's a good start.
Welcome to Jobbers Masters of Home Service, a podcast for home service pros by home service pros. We are in Las Vegas, and today we're talking about turning your social media content into a lead generating machine. I'm your host, Adam Sylvester. Today's guest is Kasy Allen. She's the COO of Wheatley Creek Services in Colorado, and she's a digital marketing expert. Kasy, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me, Adam. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So tell our audience who you are, what you do exactly, just your background.
Absolutely. So about a year ago, I quit my corporate job where before I quit my job, I worked in digital marketing for 20 years, everything from social media to SEO to content marketing. And I left to help my husband grow his company. It got to a point that he was working well over 80-hour weeks and he needed help. So I took a huge leap and quit my corporate job and started with growing Wheatley Creek Services. And with that, bringing a lot of systems and, of course, digital marketing to the door.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the dark side. We're glad you joined. I'm sure your husband's glad too. So, well, let's get into it because a lot of our listeners, they know social media is a gold mine. They just don't really know how to mine the gold. Mm-hmm. And so what are some beginning things that you would suggest for, you said a system, a process.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do?
I think it's important to learn where your audience is. And so I come from a very small town and the majority of our community communicates on Facebook. And that's where we primarily find the majority of our leads. But I know in like cities, a lot of companies or a lot of people use Nextdoor, right? And it's kind of similar to Facebook. But if I was to talk to a real estate agent, they would say they get their leads on Instagram. And then a younger population may say they get their leads on TikTok. So it's really kind of playing in different areas and finding where you're getting the majority of your leads.
Interesting. Okay, so these are paid ads that you're talking about mostly?
Not
or is it organic?
necessarily.
Okay.
So you may start with paid ads, and I come from history in SEO where you want to put SEO in place so that you're not paying as much for ads. Same theory, you don't want to keep paying for all the ads if you can figure out how to do this organically. So we try to find ways to get leads organically so we're not always paying for ads. But let's say that there's snow season is coming up in Colorado and we need to put out ads to start featuring our snow services. So I'd pay for ads at that point. But I'd also be in different groups on Facebook and trying to get leads organically from people that are asking for that service.
Okay. And let's talk about that for a second. Facebook groups. Some of our listeners, me included, are like, that takes a lot of time, because it feels like Facebook kind of sucks you in to always watching for the next person who randomly posts asking for snow plowing. So how do you balance that with, do you have someone else do it or do you have how do you do that?
I think there's a couple things you can do. So we have a VA, which is a virtual assistant, and she can go in, and that's part of her job where she can go in and she can listen to the noise, right? All the different groups, but that is kind of an old school way of doing it, and it takes a lot of time. There's tools now. I use one called Devi.ai, I believe it's DEVI.ai. It's a great tool, and it actually listens to those different groups. So I can go in and say, okay, here's the Facebook groups that I'm part of, and here's my keywords that I want you to listen to. And then it pulls those comments into the system, and then I can reply directly and put my company name, Wheatley Creek Services, tag it back to my page, and they can go learn more about me. What's even more magical about that is when you're networking within your community and you meet more of your community members and your friends are on there and your family's on there, they're also tagging you as well. So we use this tool to help us hear all the noise that's happening. And then we also have friends that help us out too.
Kasy, you just blew the minds of every listener of this podcast. That is a tremendous tool. I didn't know it existed. And now my whole life has changed because I love that.
And it doesn't just connect to Facebook, Twitter, Nextdoor,
all of them.
YouTube. All of them.
Nextdoor is huge for me because nothing's worse than Nextdoor in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like if I can avoid going to Nextdoor as much as I can, but still get leads. So so that's a good segue. So we don't want just followers. Followers won't make us any money.
Right.
We want leads.
Yes and no, right?
Go ahead.
Because a follower is your fan. And so like I would do a contest or a giveaway and my fans are the ones that are following that are going and trying to get that whatever I'm giving away, right? Being top of mind is important because even though they're your fans, they used you before and then they liked you. Being top of mind, when something does happen, they're going to reach out to you if that's the services they need. So my fans and the people who are following me are just as important to reach out to and to engage with as those people that are in the groups that may not know about me yet.
Okay.
So we're reaching out to both.
What kind of content captivates both of those people, both fans and people that are really creating for into leads? What's a good content for them?
That's a great question. I've learned a lot over the last year of doing this specifically for our industry, which is home service and residential cleaning. When I built our editorial calendar at the beginning of it was June of last year when I started. When I built our editorial calendar at that point, I would have thought that educational and like value-driven type of content would have performed the best. And I started that. All of 2023 was basically that content. We got engagement, it worked, but it didn't necessarily work as well as this year. I went to a networking event and it was like a chamber event, a lot of different businesses there. And I had 2 people come up to me and say, your marketing is amazing. You're everywhere on social media. You're doing a stellar job, but why aren't you in any of this? I come from a very small community, so I'll put that out there at first, that being from a small community, I know a lot of the business owners, I know a lot of the communities. So
they all know you.
And they know me. So them asking to see me in it, like that, it's very genuine, right? And it's very like part of your heart. But I took it as a goal. So at the beginning of 2024, we started putting more of us in our social media post. We started talking about our story, how we got started, our roots in the community, our why. Why are we doing this in the first place? And what I realized is that our story resonates with our customers, and that part of them connecting with us at that level was kept us top of mind, and it got them to reach out to us for services. And now we're learning that it's not just us. So it's not just because I'm in a small community. If you look at big major brands, they're doing this. I was on Southwest Airline, and they had the cocktail napkin that they put under the drink that they bring you, and on it is a picture of a triangle, and it's connecting, I believe it was Dallas, Austin, and Houston, which is the story of Southwest. How it started was on a napkin in a bar, right? That story they put on a napkin, and now they're marketing it to me today. And we all know how big Southwest is now, but that story is resonating with people, and it's driving more growth for them, right? Yeah. It's an important thing. At the Wynn Hotel, when you turn on the TV, the first channel that comes on is like the Wynn channel. And it tells the story about how the hotel works, but they don't talk about the entire hotel. They break it up into like different areas. So one of the examples is they showed the bakery, and the bakery makes millions of loaves of bread every year, but that bread is never a day old. They make it so it's eaten that day, so it's always fresh. That story alone makes you want to go taste that bread.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so like stories resonate with people. So like I really feel like you have to put story behind the things that you're putting out there, and that's how you convert leads.
Yeah. About 10 years ago, there was a big, we'll call it a fad. There was a fad of like nameless, faceless companies were the best, because as soon as you become the Dave Ramsey of finance and your face is everywhere. And so there was this big push about 10, 15 years ago where be in the background, you know, the more absent the owner was, the better the business was, and all that. It's changing now. It's changing, especially from a marketing standpoint, because as soon as the company that has a face, that people say, hey, that's the guy I deal with if X, Y, and Z happens. That's the guy. That creates a whole different dynamic with the community, which is what you're tapping into.
Absolutely. We went to a client's house that we were doing an on-site assessment. So they weren't our client. They're seeing if they want to hire us to clean their house and to do some gutter work. So we went and met, and the woman of the house met us at the door, and she goes, oh, I know you're the owners because I went on your website and I saw your face.
Yes.
Like that is creating a connection. She went to our website. I also updated our website with all of our pictures, right? And then you go to our About Us page, and then you can learn about us. So she went to our About Us page and even learned that we were the owners. So she's like, the owners came to my door. Like, I know that this is a real business.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the About page is the second most visited pages on most websites.
Yeah.
I'm a believer now. 4 years ago, when I started my gutter company, I did not want to be anywhere. I didn't want people to know it existed. I wanted it to be all about the technicians. And I've changed my mind over the last 12 months for a lot of reasons you're saying, is because when people go to our About page now, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I belong there because it's my company.
Yeah.
And so instead of trying to hide, I decided to step out in the light and embrace it.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a big difference.
It does. And like when you put your why there or your story there as well, it helps it helps just build it up. You're not just hiring a plumber. You're not just hiring a landscaper. You're hiring somebody that cares. They're part of the community. They live here. They have neighbors. When you learn about that, you care more about the people that you're bringing in. And so you're putting a value in front of them that is more important than a price.
Yeah.
So when I hit you with a price, you're not just thinking of that. You're like, but you get all of these amazing things that go along with it.
So the owner should become more front and center of their company.
Absolutely.
What's other content that really resonates with?
I think like if you think in terms of services and putting your face in there, I think so. What I used to do is go to Canva and create stock, right? And that's where everybody kind of gets their start, is you go to Canva, and Canva has so many great tools. The issue is you start to see that everybody starts to look the same, especially if you live in a very competitive area.
So true.
Everybody's using the same thing. So take out the part that's stock, use the things that are branded, right? Your colors, your fonts, use those things, but put your employees' images there. So if you're doing it behind the scenes, so the girls were cleaning a home recently, and I went there and I was taking a picture. I have a picture of one girl on the countertop cleaning the top of the refrigerator and one on the ground cleaning what's inside the refrigerator. Great shot. We took that and then we put like a blue overlay over it, kind of similar to this. So it's like, it's branded, right? And then we have the words at the bottom, and then you have a call to action. That seems to resonate better than that stock Canva. So we've been playing with that. Before and afters work really well too. We take a lot of before and afters and get a lot of leads showing those, especially like remodels. Like if you can show a disaster and then a beautiful tiled, and then the decorations are there, those sell really well.
Yeah. I feel like a couple years ago, all the rage, especially on Instagram, was like short form videos, you know, quick cuts videos and stuff. But you don't really do that on Nextdoor. And so what's a good example of a post on Nextdoor? Before and afters?
Yeah.
Anything else? Before
and afters and the service ones. You could post the service ones, and I just think that you have to have a story to go along with it so that you're not always trying to push a sell. Okay. Right? You're not always asking for the sell, and that's all you show up for. Before I got here, like literally a few days ago, I'm part of this local Facebook group, and the admin posted a post in bright pink that if you're here to spam, you're going to get kicked out. And you're like, oh my goodness. So you start scrolling and you can see the last 20 posts are nothing but companies. Some of them were local, some of them weren't. Like there was 5 posts from one HVAC company that had posted, and they were just asking for the sale. And you're like, you have to step back.
Ease up a little bit.
You can't do that. So I think it's like, again, learning your audience and seeing like what is it that people are resonating with in Nextdoor, and then how can you take that and then make it your own and bring it to the table.
So are you opposed now to like the how-to kind of videos, the informational videos, or you see way less of it?
No, but I think that you have to approach it by you being in it. So I think what we've seen in the past, and I'm to blame for this too. We set a goal for 2024 to double the number of videos that we put out. Okay. I think we did 10 last year, so this year we wanted 20, which we met that goal in June. Yeah, no problem. But we did it with the help of AI, and I love AI. I'm a huge supporter of it, and we used AI to help create a lot of our videos. The issue with that is it's using stock photos. So it's stock photos, and it's a voiceover, and it's a robot. And it's not playing off of that story. It's not playing off of the comfort, right? That, pulling at your heartstrings. So I think what we need to do is switch that and make sure that we're the ones that are in that video, and that it's us that's either talking or in the video. I was talking with my VA before we came. We're trying to come up. November we'll meet and we'll plan out January, or we'll plan out all of 2025.
Okay.
So we're trying to find new ideas of what other people are doing and how we can take advantage of them, or what did we try and it didn't work, but maybe we could try differently. And I really think that if we can take these videos and make like Ask a Tech, right? And so get questions, encourage questions from social media, and get people to DM us, and then we answer those questions. And it could be as easy as my husband, who's the CEO of the company, sitting on a stool, and he's talking through the answer to that. Let's talk about winterization. I'm from Colorado. Winter's coming, and it's a great time to start talking about winterization and teaching people how to winterize their home.
Totally.
I feel like that'll hit home better than these AI videos that are being created.
Totally. Kasy, this is great. I'm going to pause for a minute so we can talk about Jobber and why we love Jobber so much. Tell our listeners How does Jobber help you market your business better? And have you used the marketing tools and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. So I love the new marketing suite and I'm super excited about what's rolling out. More recently, the email marketing. I'm able to use that by Jobber helps me find clients that I haven't talked to in a while. So if I haven't heard from a client in 6 months, I can auto set up the email campaign so that it reaches out to them and reminds them that I'm here. That's great for companies that do subscription services, of course, but also for, let's say that somebody, we cleaned their house 6 months ago and we haven't heard from them. We can reach out and see if we can gather more revenue through that email marketing campaign.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the reporting with the campaigns, because now you can see how much was booked within a certain amount of time after the email was sent. So you can look and see, well, I sent this email, got $9,000 within 3 days.
Absolutely. The numbers and the analytic data is amazing. We love it. And like that number is so easy to read. Even my husband can log in and he's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So it's definitely worth it.
As I always say, if you're not emailing your clients on a regular basis, you're losing money. So
absolutely.
Yeah. You need to be emailing your clients regularly too with Jobber. So new users can get an exclusive discount at jobber.com/podcast deal. Go now, get Jobber, and start emailing your clients today. So how often do you post? You said 20 videos, you did 20 videos by June. Mm-hmm. So a couple times a week? Once?
So what's important about how often to post is really consistency. So start with consistency. If you can only manage 1 post a week, that's fine. Just make sure you show up for that 1 post a week. If you can do 3 to 4, that's a good start. We started with 3 to 4 when we started editorial calendar last year, and we consistently post our 3 to 4 each week. Then we decided to throw in this video goal, which threw in another post. So now we're posting 5 to 6 times a week. It's filling the week, right? It sounds overwhelming, but I have a great tip on how to manage it.
Let's hear it.
All right.
Let's hear it.
So start with an editorial calendar. The editorial calendar can be on paper. I love spreadsheets, so I probably go to a spreadsheet, but it can be on paper. And break up the year into 12 months. When you're looking at, and then you could break it up into quarters: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Now take your services you provide and put it on that calendar on when they're high in demand and low in demand. And look at it in a way that when it's high in demand, you probably don't need to have ads going during that time, right? You might want your ads going during your lower times or ramping up. And then schedule different things throughout. What do you want to talk about throughout the year? And try to do like a monthly theme around each of those months that you're going to talk about. So for example, go back to winterization. In the month of October or November, we can talk the entire month about winterization. Mm-hmm. We can have blog posts, we can have social media posts, we can have podcasts about how to winterize a home, and we can teach our different audiences about how to winterize their home. Once I have my editorial calendar built, we put it into monday.com. We schedule out the entire year. And we'll have that done by December. So we'll actually have it done by November. So by the second week of December, we're going to be writing January's content, and we'll write the entire month. That sounds overwhelming. But now let's take those ideas that we're taking. So if we say we're going to do 3 posts per week, then that means we need to create 12 posts, right? Mm-hmm. So take that over to Canva, create your 12 posts. Have that approved. If I have a VA and our VA does it, and then I would approve it. And then once those are approved, she'll take those and then she'll go over to Buffer. The Hootsuite is another one, but we use Buffer, and then schedule the entire month. Okay. So an entire month is done. That process sounds long, but really it's a day. Yeah. So an entire month's content is done in a day, and you only have to do that once every 30 days.
And the Hootsuite or Buffer sends it to Nextdoor is included in that or no?
I don't know if Nextdoor is included in that. That's a great question. We have it connected to
Facebook.
We have it connected to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can do all of your videos too, right? And Google. You can do Google because you can use your Google My Business profile as a social media.
Really?
Yes, and you
That's
totally
new,
should.
Okay.
Yes, you can update it every time you update all of your other social media. And you can use analytics from Buffer to see what days to post and what hours to post. Yeah.
What other hacks do you have for us, Kasy? What are some other? So if someone's listening to this and they're just super fired up,
yeah,
and they want to go out in 2025 and really blitz it with social media, what's something that's going to trip them up? A mistake they're going to make that they can try to avoid?
I guess not understanding their audience or not knowing their audience. Another tip I can think of is to do a persona exercise. Some people in the industry like to call them avatars.
Okay, yeah.
But really what it is defining your audience by 3 to 4 characters. for us, we live in a ski community, so we have a lot of second homeowners. So our main audience, our personas, is the locals. Our second is a second homeowner, but it's a second homeowner that doesn't rent their house out. They come and visit it. Our third one is a second homeowner that rents their house out. We call them STRs, which is short-term rentals. So the Airbnb stage, right? And our fourth is DIY. We love our DIY because they work on their house and they've been working on it, and then they get overwhelmed and realize they shouldn't have worked on it. And then they call us. So those are our four audiences. And then we give each of them a name. Off the top of my head, I can't think of their name. I do know DIY is like Handy Hank, but you come up with a name that you're supposed to be able to remember like that. And then you create a profile for that person. So Handy Hank, you're going to have a small little about, and you read through it and you learn about Hank. And he may have an age and he may have a gender assigned to him. And then you're going to have what his problems are. What are his issues? He bit off more than he can chew, right? And he needs somebody to come in. And that's the next part, is how do your services align to that person? Yeah. How are you going to help them? Now that I have these personas, I can now start creating content based on those people's needs, right? I can create content to bring in my DIY audience. I can create content that helps solve the problems that my STR people have, right? I can help solve the problems of my second homeowners, and I can help solve the problems of the locals. And I can do this with content and my social media. That sounds overwhelming. So take a step back. There are marketing agencies that are hired to do this, and they'll spend a week pulling together these amazing persona campaigns for you, and you pay a lot of money for it. I know, because I used to work for an agency and we did this. But you can literally go to Google, do a Google search for personas, and you can find free templates. In fact, HubSpot has a free tool that walks you through to create your personas. So you can do this in an hour, and you can create your 4 templates. By the end of the day, you'll have them. By lunchtime, you'll have them done, and you'll know exactly who your audience is. And more importantly, if anybody's helping you, you're a VA, they know who your audience is.
I love that. Okay. So all these ideas, I want to drill down to a point that I don't have clarity on. So what is considered a lead? When they message you that they're interested, that they submit a form that you put in, a link to the form that you put in the post, like what exactly do you consider a lead?
I feel like a lead could be a mix of it. And I feel like it can be word of mouth. If I'm at a local networking event and I hear somebody's like, "You are blowing it up. You are everywhere." And then if my question is like, "Where are you seeing us?" And they're like, "Your vehicles, your social media, your videos, like you guys are everywhere." That to me, like I will go back to my VA and we'll have our one-on-one, and I'm like, listen, like people are talking about us. We're getting ramped up. I'm as excited about those as an actual phone call of somebody calling and I say, "How did you hear about me?" And they say social media. So both of them are important to me. Word of mouth is important, and getting your brand out there and building your brand is just as important as that phone call. Because when you're branding, that person may not be calling you, but if their uncle needs somebody, you're going to be the first person that they mention to that.
So follow-up question. What's the call to action usually? Is it call? Is it email? Is it message? Is it like? Is it?
Keep it as flexible as you can. If you're going to the groups and you're posting your name because somebody's asking for a plumber, just link it back to your profile page, right? Because there is your email, your phone number, and messenger, and they can reach out whatever feels best.
Okay.
It's just like when you're asking for a review, you don't just send them to one place. You would send them to wherever they feel comfortable. Same thing with how to contact you. If you want to say call now, you can. I would play with it, especially in ads. Ads help let you play with it. Like, is messenger better, or is phone calls better? Or and everybody has their preferred style of how they like to communicate. I've worked with a car dealer before, and his favorite for his clients was messenger. He would get daily messages from people. And for us, I don't hardly ever get messages. We get phone calls. So I usually would lean more towards phone calls if I was to narrow it down to one lead or one means of communication for our ads.
Kasy, would you say that you're trying that it's a more of a long-term strategy, that you're trying to build more of a branding effort online, or would you say that you're really trying to drive like specific leads, click now, get it now? Because a lot of our listeners, they might have a much longer sales cycle than others. And so I'm curious, what's your approach with that?
Good question. I think you could go both ways. I feel like this is very much long-term, and it's like, just like SEO is you do it today and you may not see results for 3 months, but then it goes forever until you shut your website down. I feel like this, it keeps going. It's very much about branding, but you can also use it for now in short-term leads. And I'll give you an example. Last October, we went to a convention and we learned about holiday lighting and how home service businesses the trades in general, how they pick up holiday lighting in, October, November, December, because it gets slow. And so when we heard it, and it went in ear, one ear and out the other, because I don't want to pick up another service. I don't want to pick up a whole nother thing that I have to market. Yeah, this is too much. But October hit and it started to get slow, and you're like, oh, we could try holiday lighting. So we tried it. This was last October. October, November, December, we pushed it really hard in our social media, and we did some ads and we did some blog posts. We put it on our homepage of our website. It ended up being the number 5 revenue driver for us for the entire year.
Wow.
So it worked. So I think it's both.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's close out, but I want you to speak to the listeners here.
Absolutely.
Because you're a heavy hitter when it comes to social media, and a lot of people just aren't starting there. And so to avoid them getting overwhelmed, and I've got to be a leader, I've got to be the sales, I got to teach, I got to hire, all these different hats that we wear. How do they this is just another hat I have to wear? What would you say to them? Like, how can you wear this hat well without getting burned out and overwhelmed?
Totally understand that, because my husband was that person before I stepped in a year ago, and in working 80-hour weeks and then putting social media on top of that, it's very hard. I mean, it's hard to answer the phone, let alone let's worry about social media. And what I would do is just start small. Let's start with an editorial calendar that you're going to post once a week, and try that over the next quarter. Over the next 3 months, see if you can post once a week and use those tools. You could do the editorial calendar, or you can just set it up in Canva. All you're doing is creating 4 posts for 1 month ahead of time, 1 day, right? So, and do it ahead of time, go ahead and schedule it, and see how it goes, and see how overwhelming that was. I really feel like if you dedicate 1 day, that's a heck of a lot easier than worrying about it all month long.
That's the key, right? Doing it constantly is not the solution. Doing it, batching it all at one time is the way to really go about it. I like what you said earlier when you said your goal was 10.
Yeah.
And then you did 20 by halfway through the year. And so you started small. You put the goal pretty low.
Yeah.
And then you gained some momentum, you got some practice, some traction with it, and then started going from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Bite it off small first.
Kasy, this is great. I appreciate all your insights. I'm going to try to boil it down to 3 actionable items here. Number 1 is use apps to leverage your time. Buffer is a great app for scheduling all your posts out to go out at all these different sites, and so you don't have to be in all these sites all at once. And then also Davi.ai, which helps you monitor groups and posts in your social medias, so you don't have to be online 24/7. Number 2 is batch all of your creation. Death will come upon you if you just do day after day post. That's just how you get burned out. And so batch all your content into 1 day, maybe 2 days in the beginning, and then schedule out for the whole month thereafter, and schedule it. And that's how you're going to really be able to do it long term. And then number 3, you have to be in the content yourself, your team, yourself, the owner. You need to be in it. No more stock images, no more stock videos, no more AI videos. Like, be in it. Tell a story. Grab your listeners' attention and like bring them into a story instead of just blasting, we sell this, we sell window cleaning, we sell that. Like, make it more than that.
And I'll add in that I recently read Donald Miller's book, How to Grow Your Small Business. Amazing book, highly recommend it. And there's one story in there where he talks about making the customer the hero of the story. They have a problem, and you're the guide to help solve it. Your services are what you're offering as the solution. So when you're creating content, think about how you're helping to solve that problem, and make the client, the customer, the hero of the story.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
Kasy, how do people find out more about you?
You can reach me at Wheatley Creek. That's WheatleyCreek. And we're on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to reach me personally, you can reach me at Kasy Allen. That's KasyAllen. And that's also in Facebook and Instagram.
Well, Kasy, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed that. You're having a big impact. You're in a small town, but you're making a big change. And so keep it up.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for listening. I hope you heard something today that will make your social media content more engaging and more effective in generating more leads. I'm your host, Adam Sylvester. You can find me at adamsylvester.com. Remember, your team and your clients deserve your very best, so go give it to them.